I'm Kaylie Jones, and Kaylie Jones Books is all about dedicated writers taking a stand. I'm going to be interviewing Jason CARNEY, author of the memoir Starve the Vulture. Jason, how is this book different from your poetry?
It's a lot longer than my poetry, that's for sure. The difference in the writing process for me was the discipline it took to write the prose, right? With poetry, I don't have to be as disciplined, and with prose, I had to put my butt in the seat, so to speak, every day for a certain period of time, for a certain word count, to make it happen. And there's a lot more rules to follow when you're writing prose than when you're writing poetry, and I think poetry allowed me to hide my deficiency of knowledge of those rules, I guess. And so in writing the book, I had to learn the rules of engagement, I guess would be, so to speak, and I'm still kind of learning those rules. But I think the memoir, it falls in line with a lot of what I wrote in my poetry as far as the story I was telling. And I think being a member of the Poetry Slam community and the narratives that are just natural vehicles for those types of poems, I think helped me transition into writing the book. So that's probably what I would say.
And what do you see as the limitations of the term memoir? I actually don't really think of your book as a memoir. Kaylie Jones Books doesn't really publish memoir, but your book read like a novel. It had all the elements of great literary fiction.
Oh, thank you. The term memoir to me is kind of slanted, right? So in the book, I'm writing about my needs, desires, fears, wants, and I introduce other characters into that scene, but I don't know the inner workings of these other people. So I don't know what their needs, wants, desires were in the specific scenes or interactions that I had with them in the book. So when I'm writing, I can't write what their inner workings are, I can only write my own, and I think that presents less than a full picture because everybody gets different things out of every interaction. So if you look at the opening scene of the book where it's in the car wreck, I'm there with a character called Old Fingernails, and Old Fingernails is in this particular moment of time getting different information out of the event that's happening than what I'm getting. We're both there for different reasons, even though we're at the same event. And in the story, I can't tell why she was there, I can only tell while I was there, and I think that presents less than a full picture.
That's a great answer. How important is the theme of family in Starve the Vulture?
I think family is very important. I think if I wouldn't have had my mama and papa's lesson of love, my life would have been a lot less happy. And I don't know if I would have had the tools to do things differently than what I did. I think the example they gave me really made me, and the fact that I didn't have a father, right? And I saw my mother struggle in the way that she looked for happiness in another man instead of finding happiness in what we had, right? It made me promise myself as a kid that I was going to be a father, I was going to be a husband, I was going to stand up, I was going to do the right things. And I think the greatest gift my dad ever gave to me was at my mom's funeral, and he came and he told me that I broke the cycle and I did what he couldn't do and what my grandfather couldn't do and what my great-grandfather on that side of the family couldn't do. You know, they all impregnated women, they all got married, they all were physically abusive, they all ended up not being a part of their children's lives. And I broke that cycle. I've been married 18 years, I got 3 kids, and my mama and papa were married 54 years before my mama passed away. I'm gonna get me some of that 54 years, right? I've got 18 years, I'm close to getting the rest of it.